Hey guys, it's Lucky Hell. Welcome back to my channel. You should subscribe to me because I make all kinds of different videos about stuff. I don't really know what I'm doing. I'm just having fun, and I think you should come and join me in my little world over here on this little tiny corner of the internet on my YouTube channel. So subscribe, the button's just there. Do it, do it, do it. I always get asked questions about my tattoos, like every day when I'm out in the street. I get emails. Really want to help people, and I don't want to be rude to anyone or make them feel like I don't care about them. You know what, I'm doing this whole YouTube thing now. Why don't I just make a couple of videos with some like tattoo advice, or I don't even know how to describe it. Maybe tattoo tips? Tattoo tips. So I thought I'd make some videos in a new series called Tattoo Tips. If you've got a better name for the series, hit me with it, because I'm struggling not to be like tat chat and no, can't say that. It's against my will. So this is the first video in this little tattoo series, and the first thing I want to talk about, which is arguably the most important thing for most people, especially if you don't have a lot of tattoos, is choosing your tattoo. I've kind of noticed that people who don't have a lot of tattoos are a little bit more, you know, it's a little bit more pressure what they're gonna get tattooed. And I think once you start collecting tattoos, you already look tattooed. So if you add another one on, it's not gonna like dramatically change how you look. Whereas if you don't really have any tattoos, or you've only got a couple of small ones, if you like stick on another picture onto your body, it's gonna make like a massive difference to how you look. So I wanted to make this video about choosing a tattoo, and this kind of more applies to people who don't really have many tattoos or only have a couple, because I feel like once you start covering body parts, you probably know how to do it and where to go and what's a good artist and all about body placement and stuff. So you probably like already know your shit and you haven't clicked on this video. But if you're watching this video, maybe you're thinking about getting a tattoo, and this is my little tattoo tips. So I think there are 3 very important steps when you're thinking about getting tattooed, and the first one is research, the second one is think about body placement, and the third one is to be inspired but not to steal. So I'll elaborate on these a little bit more. Okay, so the first one, research. This is the best advice I can give to anyone who wants to get a tattoo. Research before you just go into a shop with a picture or an idea. Say you've got an idea of a bird or a flower or a snake. Don't just go into a shop and say I want a snake, because that's going to leave it up to interpretation. Every artist will draw a snake differently. Every artist will draw a rose differently. It's just, that's the beauty about art, you know? Every singer will sing a song differently, and the same is with tattoos. So if you want to make sure that this is going to be something you're really happy with, the best thing you can do is to do loads of research. Do cross-reference. Search every single snake in the world. Don't just search for already tattooed snakes. Search for like real snakes and see which kind of snakes you like. Maybe you can incorporate, you know, some kind of badass snake that like eats the fucking antelope after bites it or something, you know. Go crazy with your searches, because you never know how inspired you're going to be when you start looking at pictures. And also research other tattoos. And a really cool trick when you're researching tattoos is not just to look for the kind of tattoo or the picture that you want. You might type in like snake tattoos. It's only going to give you like this tiny little version of snakes and tattoos. And that's not really going to give you a great cross-reference. The best thing to do is look at loads and loads and loads and loads of tattoos. If you want a snake tattoo, you should look at roses, you should look at portraits, you should look at full back pieces, you should look at all kinds of tattoos. Because what you can do is you can take a picture of a snake that you like, a picture of a tattooed snake that you kind of like but you want to change it, and then you can take in a picture of a rose. You just like the colors of that rose, and you could be like, I want the colors in this rose to be in the snake. And then you could take a picture of like some portrait of someone's grandfather and be like, See how the shadow on the back of his head kind of creates a bit of 3D? Can we make that with the snake? So you want to cross-reference all of these things. You want to look at style. You want to look at colors that you like, if you like color. If you like black and gray, look at all different black and gray work and have a look at the kind of shading that you like. Super harsh, super pale, lines, a little bit of dot work. What is it that takes your fancy when you look at the picture? When you have all these things for cross-reference, it gives you a really clear, well-rounded idea of what you like for your body. This way, you're telling your artist all the different kinds of little things that you like, so then they can put that together to create a tattoo you're going to be really, really happy with. Even if you're going for something flash. Flash is pre-drawn, non-custom tattoos. You might see a pre-drawn rose on the wall of a tattoo shop and want that rose, but you might want it like a little bit different. You might want heavier shading or different colors or a different angle. That's why if you've done a load of research on different kind of roses, even if you fall in love with one at the shop, you're gonna have all this extra reference material to be like, I love that rose, almost like that, but could you draw it a little bit like this, da 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 da. This is one of the best ways to make sure you're happy with the end result, because if you only look at like a handful of pictures of the kind of tattoo you want, you're only getting a handful of interpretations of that. Art is infinite. You can do anything with anything in art, and a tattoo is the same because it's a drawing, it's art. It's just going to go on your body. So research is definitely the biggest tip I can give to any of you. Research loads. Google is like, we have Google, like Google to shit. Instagram, I wouldn't really suggest looking at the hashtags because a lot of the tattoos there aren't very good, but I would go to tattoo convention Instagrams and check there for good artists that are working at conventions, and then check their pages, then check their friends' pages and go like this. I think this is the best way to do it on Instagram. So research, 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 and save a bunch of photos on your phone or print them out if you have a printer. Take those reference points to your tattoo appointment. It'll help. Another super, super important thing that a lot of people maybe takes a little bit of time to learn is placement on the body. You want to make sure that the tattoo you get is going to fit where you put it. You know, putting something on the shoulder blade kind of just looks like it's floating there with no real purpose, whereas putting it on the hip or the ankle or the wrist, if it's really small, kind of works a little bit better with the body. If you're getting really, really small tattoos, it's kind of hard to use the flow of the body with the tattoo because it's so small, it doesn't really have a flow. Still got to think about the placement. Your body kind of goes like this in the waist, you know, ribs go in, hips go out. Even if you don't have a waist like this, which I don't, that's still the shape of the body. So you want to think about things that will accentuate that. Lines going straight across aren't as flattering as lines going down on arms and legs and torso. I've got lines that go straight across on my leg, and that's just, some of the tattoos have ended up like that, and that's fine. But I mean, these are kind of like general speak things, and this plays into the research, because the more you research different tattoos and different heavily tattooed people to get inspiration, you're gonna see the different ways that different designs flow on the body. And a good artist will also have a good knowledge of body placement. So this is really important. That was my knuckle. The last thing you can do that is really, really important with getting a tattoo is to definitely be inspired, but don't copy. It's really hard with tattoos to say like don't copy, because every tattoo has been done 1,000 times over. I mean, people are ragging on me for copying people with my black arm, and it's literally the oldest style of tattooing, black work. Like, there were no colors 1,000 years ago when tattoos were happening. Black work is black work, you know? Being inspired by other people and liking certain styles is totally normal, but copying is just, you're not going to get the most unique thing. And if you copy someone based on how it looks on them, it's not going to look the same on you, so you might not be as happy with it as well after the fact. And if you copy a tattoo that is maybe a trendy tattoo, maybe you're not going to like that kind of tattoo in a couple of years. Being inspired is a part of the research, it's a part of the body placement, it's a part of like art and life. We are all inspired by things, and it's really important to do loads of research with tattoos so you can be really sure what you want. The very last advice I have for people that want to get a tattoo, especially if it's your first tattoo, and this is what I did with my first tattoo: carry the final design around in your wallet or purse for like 6 months or a year. If it's your first tattoo and you want to be sure you're gonna like this, because even then there's no guarantee you're gonna like it in 20 years. It's all about the journey. It's fine to have a tattoo that you wouldn't get today. I have tattoos, I'm not gonna cover them up. They're just kind of like old tattoos that I got when I'm young, and it's like the memory, and I remember that, and I learned something from that, and I'm cool with that. But when it's your first tattoo and you wanna do all the things in your power to make sure that you're happy with the end result, this is my advice. Get the final design and carry that around for 6 months or a year, and if you still want that design on that part of your body where you planned, do it, because that means you're pretty solid about it. Now, if you don't have the design ready, like it's not flash, you didn't just find it somewhere, but you need someone to draw it, or you need someone to modify a design you've seen to make it your own, why not just pay a tattoo artist to draw that design for you and just say, look, I want to make sure I'm going to love this. Can I pay you to design the tattoo so I can carry it around in my wallet and make sure I want it in 6 months? Yes, it's going to cost extra money than just getting the tattoo outright, but it's kind of like a small price to pay to hopefully ensure that you are happy with the end result. So that's my advice. And you know, at the end of the day, cover-ups can look really beautiful. Go for it, have fun with it. Just make sure you go to a good artist. I'm probably going to do that as the next topic, how to find a good artist. So stay tuned. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up, please. It really helps me. Let me know what you think in the comments. Do you have tattoos? How many tattoos do you have? What's your process for planning for new tattoos? If you don't have any tattoos and you're looking to get one, did you think this was helpful? Please let me know. I love to hear from you guys. Be kind in the comments. Don't be assholes to each other. They've got enough of them in this world. So yeah. Alright guys. Mwah. Thanks for watching. What am I doing?